Hey everyone, Matt from Total MTG here, and welcome to the first video of the week. And what have I got for you today? Well, it is a mono black control. So a bit different today. I've got a deck tech for you and some gameplay. So I'm obviously showing you the deck tech from MTG Arena. Let me know how you like this format. If you do, let me know in the comments. It's just something a little bit different. I thought I'd add the gameplay onto the little bit of a deck tech as well, just showing you before I actually play the deck what the deck is about and everything like that. So, mono black control. Here we are looking at the deck. So let's take a look at the spells here. Starting off, it's going to go in mana costing order because that's the way they lay it out on there. We're starting off with a 2 of Fungal Infection. Target creature gets -1/1 to end of turn. You get to create a little blocker or an attacker in a sapling token. So this is great early play because you get to attack their Llanowar elves. They won't get to use it if you've got this in your hand. Turn 1, straight down there, stop them from ramping into that Steel Leaf champion or maybe a Brontodon or something really, really good. I found this is good as well as he has a combat trick where you can use it, shrink something down potentially. You might be able to kill something like a Pyromancer or something like that and then get a blocker to maybe block their little hasty creature that's coming in with 1 toughness as well. There's a lot of 1 toughness creatures in the format at the moment. So at the moment this is a 2 of, but don't be surprised if it does get upped. So now we're going to get to one of our creatures, which is Dusk Legion Zealot. This is just a 1/1, so, serves as a nice little blocker. You're never really going to win the game by attacking with these unless, well, you're just never really going to do that. But you might be able to do it one time, you never know. But when it says battle, you get to draw a card. So for us, it's paying 2 mana to draw a card, but you do lose a life. But the benefit of this is obviously that it gives you a blocker as well. We run this as a 4 of. A little bit more card draw in here because sometimes we will need to gain life and we've got creatures that we can sack once they have their effects, once they come into the battlefield. Argyle's Bloodfast is very nice. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or less life, which occasionally obviously does happen, there's a lot of aggro around, we can sacrifice creatures. So once they come in and do their job, the Plaguecraft, the Ravenous Chupacabra, we can gain a little bit of life occasionally with the Argyle. And it's, if not, it's going to be their early game to pay 2 life and draw a card and find the cards that we need. Cast Downs there is a 3 of. Originally I had it as 4, but now I've got it as a 3. It's just really good in this format at the moment. Cast Down, destroy non-legendary creature. There's a hell of a lot of them down there that just try and aggro you out. So Cast Down for us is a very nice early play. And I like the amount of removal that we do. Obviously black has a lot of removal, but I like the amount of early removal that we actually have in this deck. That goes to say as well for Moment of Craving, and what's great, you gain life with this, which can be very important in this deck. Works well with Bloodfast. If you're taking 2 life, you can gain it back potentially with a Moment of Craving. And -2/2/2, like I said, will kill a lot of creatures currently in the format as well. If you have to shrink something down just to get the 2 life, I've even used it to kill one of my own Chupacabras to actually, just stay alive. When someone's trying to lightning strike you for that last bit of damage, you can maybe kill one of your own creatures if your opponent has none on the board. But just, gaining that 2 life sometimes can be very, very handy. Plaguecrafter is in there as a 4 of as well. Each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Very good against control when they're playing, if you can actually get this onto the battlefield, which sometimes is half the battle, you can make them sack that Teferi or something like that. And we do have Eldish Reborn where we might be able to get to play it ourselves even though we're mono black. We've got Murder in there as a 1 of as well. Just destroy target creature. This can just hit anything. 3 instant speed, 1 mana. I've only got this in as 1 of. It was a late addition to my deck, but I felt like it was, I had 1 space and Murder. Why not? We're mono black. It's the perfect card for this deck. 4 off Ravenous Chupacabra. We've got so many creatures that when they come into the battlefield will just clear the field for us. This ends up having to destroy target creature and opponent controls. 4 of in there. Very nice creature. Obviously, you all know about the Chupacabra. Ritualist Suit basically hits all those mono white decks, all those red decks. This can just sweep the whole lot up, mana cost 3. If it hits our creatures as well, we don't mind. We want to keep the battlefield clear because we've got a lot of bigger creatures coming in late game. And Ritualist Suit as a 3 of is absolutely epic and has been really, really good for me. Vraska's Contempt deals with the planeswalkers and really awkward creatures. Certain creatures like the Phoenix and the other ones go and they come back, those flying Phoenixes. Really awkward to deal with. Vraska's Contempt is a way to exile, which means they can't bring them back from the graveyard. They can't just flip them back over once they get that little token as well. Vraska's Contempt is a 3 of. Bone Dragon is in there as a 1 of. I've originally had like 4 Doom Whisperer, but I've been testing Bone Dragon. It's not been too bad because the ability where you can just bring it back from the graveyard. Obviously, Doom Whisperer is there as a 3 of, and that is just absolutely epic, and that's our basic game winner as well. This comes down, you get 2 of these on the battlefield. It's basically GG's. The pay 2 life, Surveil 2. We've hopefully cleared enough of the field to deal with, you know, anything they've got, and then we can just fly over and win it. Control decks are very tricky to play against because they basically just counter, say no. But we can't beat every deck in the format. There's always going to be decks that we're going to struggle against. There's no deck that basically beats them all, not that I know of anyway. But, you know, Doom Whisperer is a definite game winner for us, as is Bone Dragon, a big 5/4 flyer that can recur for us. You know, that's basically how we can win the game. Eldish Reborn in there as a 2 of. Yeah, this can be a cheeky little game winner as well. Don't you know, forget about the power of this. It's only a little uncommon, but it comes in. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker when they're playing with, you know, really good, important planeswalkers or creatures that are really, you know, essential to their deck. I've managed to get a Lyra from this before. Planeswalkers, really strong. They have to discard a card. And then obviously we get to put a target creature planeswalker from the graveyard with the 3rd lore counter. We could obviously recur one of our creatures in this as well. Eldish Reborn in for 2. I would like more. I'm trying to make way for at least 3, but at the moment it's doing well as a 2 of. The last 2 cards of the main board are a 2 of Discovery. We're not playing blue at all, but we're using this just for the Surveil 2 and draw a card. A little bit of extra card draw. You know, I felt like I wanted this in the colours of mono black, and this just works perfectly for us. 2, 3, you could up this a little bit, but I just can't make space for it at the moment. Potentially Murder may drop out, and I might add in, you know, just the, because we've got a lot of remove in there, so Murder may drop over time, so I can add in another Discovery. When we go to the land base now, I've got a couple of Memorial to Folly, because I really like this in my mono black deck, recurring the creatures, you know, because we've got a couple of big game winners, but that is the main way we are trying to win the deck, so when they do kill them, this is a good way to try and get them back. Swamps are in there as a plenty, and you've also got to have a Detection Tower in there because this deals with anything hexproof that's really hard to deal with. So Detection Tower is always a must for me in my control decks. And there's a couple of Field of Ruin just to get rid of any of those Azcantors that might be really hard for us to deal with. And I've been, you know, this is just a really good card, and of course it's in there as a 2 of. We're sacrificing it to just go and find another swamp, but it's basically in there to do a job of removal. So what this deck does, you know, it's all about removal, and then it's winning the game with the Doom, the Nightmare Demons, and potentially our little dragon skeleton known as Bone Dragon. So that's just a little instant deck tech for you. Now we're going to get onto the gameplay. 3 games for you. The first game is absolutely epic, I must say, but they're all pretty good. But the first game is, I really did enjoy. Occasionally I will make, you know, misplays occasionally, guys. You know I'm no pro, but I just really hope you enjoy these deck techs, you know, instant deck tech with gameplays as well. Let me know in the comments. Hit the like if you're new to us. Don't forget to subscribe and sit back, enjoy, get your popcorn, and enjoy the matches. Right, here we go, boys and girls, ready for the first match with the mono black control. Opening hand here, we've got a couple of lands. So I decided to keep this hand because we've got Dusk, you know, we've got a Zealot there to draw cards, we've got Craving that's an early bit of removal. So opponent is ramping out with the flower already, reveals our lovely little plains. And we draw a cast down, not the land I wanted, so we're going to lead off with Memorial Folly. Wasn't the land that I wanted, but we still got another turn to draw those lands, which is alright. Opponent's not doing any early plays. Doom Whisperer for us there was not amazing, but Dusk, Legion, Zealot, will you find us a land? Of course it did. Of course it did, as if I didn't know already. The swamp was drawn. Opponent comes down with one of the, I'm soon to be finding one of the most annoying cards in the world for me, which is that Fountain of Renewal. There's so much of this on Arena. So much of it. But we got another swamp there, which was a really nice draw for us. Means we can play our 4-mana spells now with no problem whatsoever. If we can draw that extra lands, then we're on with the Doom Whisperer. Now in my plays, occasionally I will make, you know, don't get too annoyed. Sometimes I will make misplays. Just, you know, I'm not the world's best Magic player. Never have claimed to be or will ever be. That's for sure. Cast down gets rid of that Leonin. Very nice card that, you know, is going to gain him life when it attacks and stuff like that. We just tap away with our little Zealot. Comes in, draw a card, and it's actually doing a bit of damage for us. But all it's doing is replenishing it with that blimmin' renewal. I hate that card. Imara comes down, Soul of the Accord. Taps, makes soldier tokens. We can see the way this opponent's deck is going. Decided not to moment a Craving there. Luckily drew an Eldish Reborn, which is probably what I end up playing, but it was a bit lucky there. Now, when you're obviously playing white, there's a lot of enchantment removal, and mono black, we just can't deal with that enchantment removal. You know, they're going to have Ixalan's Binding that's really annoying. They've got Conclave now as well. But we get rid of Little Amara with Eldish Reborn. And just, you know, for the sake of they just can't keep gaining life, we attack with Zealot here. Eldish Reborn is binded. Ixalan's Binding, which means we can't play another one, but we only do run 2 in the deck, of course, remember. But I'm not too worried about how the gameplay's going to you know, our life's under no threat whatsoever. We'll just keep attacking in. But what I will have to think about soon, you know, is potentially playing creatures like the Ravenous Chupacabra and stuff like that, maybe without having targets, because I want to get, you know, I can realise that they're just going to keep gaining life. Doom Whisper's going to come down. They have to deal with that now. Which they do. Conclave Tribunal comes down. The white enchantment removal is strong in standard at the moment. So we're left with a little Zealot again. The renewal's going to keep gaining life. We're going to keep tapping for 1. But what a top draw that was. Doom Whisperer number 2 can come down. So we attack in. We play another Doom Whisperer. They're going to gain another 1 life. So that little Zealot's damage is doing nothing to our opponent whatsoever. Fountain of Renewal. We've got no way of getting rid of that. But we give them something else to think about now. They got Chalet down, which is, yeah, that's okay, Chalet. But we're not too worried about that. With what we've got in our hand, you know, Chupacabras are plenty, Playcrafters, Moment Cravings. We can do plenty. Now, obviously, we can't target the Witness because Chalet. We have to get rid of Chalet first. Drawing another Chupacabra is just absolutely epic. We've got multiple ways to get rid of their creatures now. They're down a top drawing. We're taking hold of this game now. Doom Whisperer coming in. Fly over the top, Whisperer. Fly over the top. Now, you think that, you know, you think we're well in control here, but our opponent does, I think, does have a bit of a fight back in this game. So it's very impressive how this green-white deck, you know, sort of was dealing with the power of the Whisperer and stuff like that. And the amount of removal we have in hand. Now, tokens, obviously, if they be mass tokens, Chupacabras and Playcrafters are not going to be brilliant because we can just, you know, they're just going to keep hitting the tokens. Another Conclave Tribunal. So Doom Whisperer number 2 bites the dust. Poor little Doom Whisperer. We're going to Surveil first. Playcrafter Dust Legion. I mean, not really what I want at the moment, so we're going to, you know, let them go to the grave. We're going to play it again. Life, you know, life total's not really under much threat at the moment. Moment's Craving. Vraska's Contempt. I actually chucked that one in the graveyard. So we've got multiple ways to deal with their creatures. I mean, we're going to Moment's Craving here, give it -2/2, gain a bit of life back where we just Surveil, which is really good. Why, you know, the interactions with Moment Craving in this deck work really well, so there is a case to maybe to be upping them rather than 2, because it still does hit a lot of creatures with the -2/2 in the format, obviously. Playcrafter's going to come down. We'll sack our little Zealot. I mean, if we had just attacked, we would have lost it anyway, but this means, you know, we get to keep 2 power and 3 power on the board. We're just attacking for 2. Dawn of Hope. So this can make soldiers, which is really annoying, and obviously draw cards as well when they gain life. Discovery gets drawn first of all. So I'm taking a little look at my graveyard. Just seeing what's in there. Draw a card with Discovery. Obviously, you get the Surveil 2 first there. There's 2 lands there. Put them straight to the graveyard. And we draw another Swamp anyway, so it made no difference whatsoever. But Memorial to Folly is there, which means we can obviously bring stuff back. It's a shame that the demons got exiled. So this is where I said this token deck now starts to sort of revive a bit, shall I say. Blocking the Playcrafter. We're going to get in for another 2 here. Good interaction here. So it makes, obviously, the 1/1 tokens that have life. Then they can pay 2 and draw a card, which is pretty sweet as well. I like what our opponent's trying to do here. This is what I'm saying. I'm playing Chupacabra now, just literally because I want to start putting pressure on. If they're going to start making tokens, I need to start getting pressure on with creatures. You know, they'll be making 1/1s. We've got 2 toughness here. But then comes down the Visitation. So now these little 1/1s are becoming 4/4s. Potentially they could start making 2 a turn as well, which is, you know, this is now where I'm starting to get worried, thinking, they'll be drawing cards, they're making 4/4s. It's not looking good. But we do have Ravenous Chupacabra, Playcraft, and a Ritualist Suit. Obviously, Ritual Suit will wipe the board of tokens, which is really good. Chupacabra stays away from the Ritual Suit because it's 4 mana cost. Hunted Witness comes down. Don't really want that to be blocking, do we? Because it makes a 4/4 now, not a little 1/1. Frantically searching my graveyard, thinking, what can I bring back? I need something bigger than what we've got on the battlefield when they're making 4/4s. But, you know, we've got ways to make creatures disappear with our own creatures. And there's another 4/4. I've got my opponent down to 5 life, but 4/4 flyers are going to be hard to deal with. You know, even on 17 life, it's not going to take many attacks for our opponent just to sort of, you know, win the game. Luckily for us, we draw a Vraska's Contempt, which is nice. Gains us a bit of life back, which means we can get rid of one of those tokens. But I'm looking at Ritual Suit here. I can clear the board for 3 mana and then play potentially a Playcrafter as well, then get rid of the 4/4. I think this is a bit of top tech gameplay I did here. This is probably the one moment in the gameplay video where, you know, I did something that was pretty cool. So Ritual Suit comes down, and I feel like it's good value. We lose one of our creatures, but we do get rid of those 2 4/4 flyers. The opponent makes a 4/4, but we can come in with Playcrafter now, come down, sacrifice one of our creatures. Sacrifice the Playcrafter because, you know, opponent's on 5 life. I want to get the damage in. Down to 1 mana, you know, 1 life now. 1 mana? Down to 1 life now. They've got hideous amounts of mana. So they can keep making these 4/4 angels. But we've got Vraska's and Ravenous Chupacabra, so even though they're going to make 2, if we top draw a land, it's basically GG's in the first game. And there is the land, like I said, as if I didn't know. As if I haven't played this game already. In comes the land. Chupacabra comes in, deals with one of the 4/4s. Vraska's Contempt is going to deal with the other. And the little Chupacabras are going in for the win. As the eyes flash on the Vraska's Contempt and Chuppers. Chupper for the win. GG's, game 1. So I get a little pack here, and I get a Ajani's Pride, mate. So I thought I'd share this with you. Why not, eh? Let's have a little pack opening as well. Guilds of Ravnica. Can't remember what I pulled, actually, but Justice Strike is a nice little uncommon to pull. And the rare was, well, Hatchery Spider. Yeah, not great, but still, free rare. Off we go. On to game 2 now. Are you ready? Yes, we're ready. Our opponent is Big Papa. Wow, Big Papa. So let's take a look at our open hand. We got Swamps there. We got a turn 2 play, turn 3 play. Draw another land. If we hit our curve, you know, if we hit our mana now, it's going to be streaming out very nice in this game. Opponent plays a island. Turn 2, we're going to go down with the Zealot. Obviously, depending on what we draw. We get a Chupa. So we're going to go down Zealot, draw a card, and obviously we lose a life as well. Starting to really like this card, especially in this deck. Gives us a bit of card draw, and gives us a blocker as well, which is what, you know, what the mono black really would like. You know, is card draw. We do have the Surveil card as well now that we can tap, which is great having those split cards. Fungal Infection, potentially used to kill, you know, one toughness creature, shall I say? Attacking in with Zealot. The Zealot does some work. I mean, there's no little, you know. What's the artifact? There's no little renewal there that's going to gain the life back now. Risk factor. This is a bit of a misplay here. Sorry about this misplay. I misread it and I just declined where I should have said take action, take the 4 damage. Stupidly gave the red blue player more cards. I mean, blue players want more cards, don't they? You know, that's the blue mage be thinking, yeah, I feel sorry. I don't want to take 4 damage. What do I care? I'll just give him more cards. Oh, what a misplay that was. I do feel like, you know, some of the interactions on there, I don't know if it's just so used to MTGO sometimes that you know, fairly new player on this, but that was literally, you should just read the screen. So this is what I'm saying, they go to Lava Coil, 4 damage to our little Zealot. Maybe they're just doing it to get rid of cards in their hand. But we're going to do the same. I'm feeling like my 1/1, -1/1 is not really going to do much against their deck, because I'm thinking they're like the Drake deck already. So I'll keep up my little 1/1. It's a dead card in my hand potentially as well. They're going to be flying over the top. Get our 4th land. So it means we've got Vraska's up, and now we've got Murder up, in case they do play one of those little drakes that turn into big drakes. We're going to attack him with the Fungal. They blink of an eye. So they used a Lava Coil and a blink of an eye. That's 2 very strong cards we got out of our opponent's hands there. Very strong cards. They dealt with our Zealot and our Sapling token with those 2 strong cards, which we don't mind at all. Down comes Raoul. Raoul, visit Viceroy. Bet you can beat me? Yeah, we do, because we got a Vraska's Contempt in hand, Raoul. Now, we're going to come now. We're going to put you into exile. So now we're going to come down with Doom Whisperer. The big 6/6. Now they've got to deal with Doom Whisperer. Doom Whisperer is, you know, it's a bit of a beater. We're going to have him in like 4 turns now, potentially. We've got Removal in hand, which is nice as well. We've got Murder, we've got Chupacabra. Would like potentially to have drawn maybe another Vraska's, because if they're playing Planeswalkers, obviously. What's Big Papa going to do? Plethora of cards in hand. They've got his risk factors as well that obviously they can bring back. And here comes the first Drake. I was quite happy that I thought this was Drake's. You know, playing against red-blue, it's more than likely going to be Drake's when you're playing on MTG Arena. Pay 2 life to Surveil. Cast down's nice. 2 mana removal for the Drake. Cast down's pretty strong at the moment, especially when there's a lot of these decks around. Cast down is a very, very strong card. So we're keeping as well. I don't mind taking the extra land as well. So, take over to our turn. We will cast down. Potentially they could have a, you know, a counter spell, but we've got Murder as a backup. So if we have to use 2 spells, we have to use 2 spells. But I want to start getting, you know, getting the damage in with Doom Whisperer. So they do have an Iron Eyes, which obviously resolves. We're mono black control. We don't have any counter spells. We're no blue, but we're going to murder it anyway. So we got a counter spell out of the hand. We had to use 2 removal spells on it, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. But Doom Whisperer is now going to come in, put our opponent down to 13. And it means they have to deal with it again. If they just go playing like a big Drake or anything like that, or maybe a Niv Mizzet, we've got Chupacabra that can come down. But obviously that starts spiraling with their card draw as well, which is, you know, which is really... It's really strong about the Drake deck is that they can get those card draw. Keep going, keep going. Arclight Phoenix. That has jumped up in price on MTGO. Luckily on MTG Arena, it just means you just got to pull one of those wild cards. And they get Electrostatic Field. Electrostatic Field. Let's see if I can say it right, shall we? They've got a blocker for our big 6/6, but we're going to deal with Arclight. Oh, they actually attack in. Completely forgot they attacked in there. I love this Surveil on the Doom Whisperer. Doom Whisperer is so strong. I haven't used it in any commander decks yet, but I will be putting it in my commander decks just because it's just going to be so good. Vraska's Contempt was an epic draw there because that means we can get rid of the Phoenix. And there's no way it'll be coming back from the graveyard once they play their, you know, multi-mana spells. And it means we can fly over the top for another 6 and put our opponent down to 7. Wasn't honestly thinking about, you know, exiling the field. I just wanted to look at what it did. I think I was making sure it didn't have flying or reach. Down to 7. Doom Whisperer doing the winning job for us here. Opponent plays another island. I like the fact that we've got Chupacabra in hand, Fungal Infection, because we've got opponent down to 7 here. So we could actually make a little Sapling potentially, because then we could remove the Electrostatic Field, then we actually win in for 7. But they play big, Niv, Mizzet, Paran. Now this is the one that I was talking about that, you know, draws cards, does damage. Really, really strong card if you can play this. The casting cost is a bit of a pain, but not, you know, when you're playing these and we've got Steam Vents in standard now, it's not actually too hard. So I'm going to Fungal Infection here because I want to get another creature onto the battlefield, which I think is, you know, it's a bit. The opponent's down to 2 cards in hand. We're on 12 life. Our main job is to get rid of Niv Mizzet. Yep, I get the little Sapling, get that other little creature. And obviously what's good about this is that the sapling doesn't come down first, which means they can't kill the sapling. They have to do 1 damage to us. And then we get a little sapling. So we draw a Playcrafter here, which is really nice. We're going to play Chupacabra, though, to get rid of Niv and Mizzet. Fly over the top. No point attacking him with the other one, because it just, you know, bounce off the 0-4. But with Playcrafter in hand, Ritual of Suit, we're looking pretty tasty for the next turn, potentially to win the game. Opponent's down to 1. We've had to use our life with Doom Whisperer, but it's so strong just finding the cards that you want and putting some in the graveyard. And that interaction works well with Boneyard as well. Opponent's 3 cards in hand, and they were thinking about what to do. Big Papa was thinking, we've got the win on the board. Risk factor comes in. Now, they took the 1 damage hit. Now, I was probably, I wouldn't say lucky here, because what they would have to have in hand is 2 lightning strikes. So I took a chance that they didn't have 2 lightning strikes. They got 5 mana left. I didn't really want to refill their hand. So I took a bit of a chance here. Phoenix comes down. Not bothered about the Phoenix whatsoever. We got Playcrafter in hand. Opponent says GG's already, because we've got the sapling that can just win the game as well for us. We draw a Moment of Craving, which is really nice because he can get rid of the Arc. And then we've got Playcrafter to come in, make him get rid of Electricity Field. Not that we needed to do this, but we just sort of played out our hand here. It just proves, you know, showing the deck is, you know, it's pretty strong. And then we can attack him for the win. Doom and Chupacabra get the win in the second game. And then we're going to get onto the final game, which is a game 3 for us. I was very happy with the first 2 wins. You know, I felt like, you know, the deck's playing pretty well. So, on to the final game of the Mono Black Control gameplay. If you do want to see more of this deck, you know, want to see more gameplay, you can also let me know in the comments. Any other decks, you know, it's a bit harder to build a decks on MTG Arena, but I will try and build. My collection's getting really good, so, you know, I'm starting to be able to build up a lot of different decks to be able to show you. Llanowar Elves comes down, but we have a Fungal Infection for your Llanowar Elves. No super quick play for you, and we're going to get a little sapling out of it. So I was thinking this was mono green, but it actually turns out to be red-green aggro, I think. It's red-green. Pyromancer comes down, which is another one, you know, obviously Fungal can hit the Pyromancer as well, which is pretty strong. We play our Swamp, and then we go into a Dusk Legion Zealot, which makes us lose a life, obviously. But we do get to draw a card, which is a Doom Whisperer. We just want to be drawing land at this point. We've got a Field of Ruin in there and a Memorial, so that gives us the 4 mana. But we need 1 more Swamp so we can get to play the Doom Whisperer. Pyromancer comes down again. Another 2 damage down to 15. Ritual of Suit is a very nice draw here. So we play the Memorial because we're going to be setting up for the Ritual of Suit where we can actually wipe the board a little bit. This is what I'm saying about how strong Ritual of Suit is against these sort of decks. Clears up Llanowar Elves, clears up Pyromancers. Doesn't clear up our Phoenix though. But luckily, we've got a Vraska's Content there for the next turn where we can put it in exile, which means they're not going to get it back. Putting the Phoenix into exile is really, really strong. Because it is such a hard card to deal with if you're not playing an exile spell on it. No attackers, because there's no point attacking in. Those little 1/1s stop the Pyromancers from attacking. So they attack him with just the Phoenix, but we've got the Vraska's Contempt here just to get rid of it. And then we can Ritual of Suit next turn. We're hoping that they might play, you know, some more Pyromancer or something like that just so we can get some more value. But opponent's down to 2 cards in hand now. And we've got, you know, we just need to draw that 1 more land. And then we get Doom Whisperer, which I think, you know, that will be very hard for them to deal with. Especially with 2 in hand as well. Thorn Lieutenant, more fodder. More fodder for Ritual of Suit. Absolutely loved it when they played that. Ritual of Suit comes down, wipes the field. Boom, Ritual. Kills our creatures, but we're not bothered about that. We're taking 3 good creatures out there. It's called value, boys and girls. Value there. Opponent plays a Forest. We're going to be coming down with Doom Whisperer now. The Demon comes down. The eyes come out of the Nightmare Demon. Now we know they do, obviously, they're going to have flyers. They've got Phoenix stuff, so they are going to be able to potentially have blockers for it. Thorn Lieutenant's nice with the amount of mana they got because they can pump it up, so that's a quick clock as well. Got to be careful using Surveil so much when you're playing red decks, but, you know, if you need to find cards, that's what you need to do. Chupacabra, lovely. Take the land as well. Take the Chupa. So we're going to attack in here with a Doom Whisperer. And I was thinking about, you know, maybe I should have played the Chupacabra next, but I think I do go down with the Doom Whisperer. Because then it's 12 power on board. Pretty strong. I can play Chupacabra. You know, basically, opponent is top drawing cards. I'm assuming there's probably a land in their hand. Because they had 4 mana, potentially with the type of mana cost in their deck, they could have played something last time. And having 2 Doom Whisperers down is pretty strong. We're not going to block here, because obviously they can pump. Don't really want to lose a Doom Whisperer, because we've got creatures and kill spells in our hands, so we can just deal with anything they play. Just me double checking there, just thinking, oh, it does give it +4/4, so they would actually survive and we would die. So we're going to take 6 here and go down to 9 life. One thing I stupidly didn't think about, you know, which I probably should have when I was taking the damage here sometimes, is that Banefire is a card, and Banefire could obviously come down and do that final bit of damage without, you know, I couldn't do anything about it. So maybe I should have just dealt with Thorn Lieutenant instead of playing a Doom Whisperer. It was probably a play maybe as well. They do get a little 1/1, but I know I'm going to attack in for 12. And I've got a Moment's Craving there in case I need to gain that extra 2 life. Banefire is only going to do potentially 5 damage, and we're up on 9, so we're pretty safe at the moment. The big Doom Whisperers are there, that, you know, basically they're just game wins for us. Opponent's going to have to, you know, with 3 cards in hand, going to have to deal with everything. As I say, try to shock our Ravenous Chupacabra. Instead of going to there, so I'm just thinking, what are they doing? What are they doing? So I think, I'll respond with a Moment's Craving. I'm going to try and gain 2 life. And the opponent says, nah. You're not doing that. You're not going to win with that. I'm just going to shock myself. You're not going to win with your Whisperers. And that was the winning. We were there with the winning form anyway, because we had the Chupacabra, and we obviously had lots of stuff in hand. That was just a, you know, pretty easy victory for us, even though we got lower down on life. And the Mono Black Control took all 3 games. So there is the Mono Black gameplay video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it with a little decent deck tech at the start. If you like this format, don't forget to let me know in the comments. I will meet you there. I will just do, you know, what people like. So, but the deck was pretty good, wasn't it? It won 3 games really quite easily. You know, a couple of little misplays here and there, but a couple of little good plays as well. So, you know, I'm not too unhappy with how I played that deck. I feel that's pretty strong. Anyway, guys, I really do appreciate you watching. If you are new to us, hit that subscribe button, like I said at the start of the video. And if you could hit the likes, you know, likes help support the channel for free as well. And of course, sharing the video does as well. Anyway, you got to take care. The next video will be out on Thursday. I will see you then.